Hi everyone, it's Meg. It's Wednesday night here at String Theory Yarn Company, and tonight I want to talk about something we seem to have a lot of in the shop, and that is stitch markers. And it's great that we have a lot of them because everyone needs them for some reason, one or another. There are two main kinds, and one kind, here we go. It looks like this. It looks like a little safety pin, and it unhooks. And because I'm thinking of my friend Darcy, who is an earth scientist and says always hold up an object for scale, this is what it looks like compared to a penny. It's about the size of a penny lengthwise. So we have them in this size and we have them in this size, bigger if you want. These are bigger than a quarter. If you use thick needles, these are good for up to like a US 8 or 9. And the time and place that you use these are great for crocheters. Crocheters like to use these to mark, to hold on to that last live stitch so it doesn't come undone if you have to stop crocheting for some reason. And knitters use them in a couple of ways. I like to use these to mark if I find a dropped stitch and I'm not in the right place to fix it right away. I hook one of these through the drop stitch and snap it closed to keep that stitch from going anywhere until I can come back with a handy tool or a crochet hook or whatever and fix the stitch. So they're great for that. And you can also just slide them onto your knitting needles and treat them like a regular stitch marker. So they work like that as well. So if you are looking for stitch markers that are good for crocheters, you want to look for ones that can slide onto, that you can put on your knitting or take off of your knitting. We have, where'd that go? Oh, we've got these too. These are a little more fun. They've got dangly charms, but again, they're removable. So knitters and crocheters can use them. These have an R and a W for right side and wrong side, because sometimes, depending on what you're making, it can be hard to tell which is the front and which is the back. And you can clip one of these onto the front or back of your knitting and make your life a little bit easier, which is what I think stitch markers are great for. So we've got this kind. Then, let's see, you have your basic ring-shaped marker, or not necessarily ring-shaped, but these are ones that knitters use. Crocheters don't find these as useful because they don't clasp and unclasp. These are the ones that just sit in the middle of your row of knitting like a bead. And when you're knitting along, you come to the marker and you know, there's something that happens there. Maybe it's a decrease or an increase or or it's the beginning of your round. It's a little pay attention moment. And you slip the marker from one needle to the other and keep on going. So that's what those are for. But you can have a lot of fun with them. Of course, there's the plain plastic model. They come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. And these are great. It's 50 pieces and you get a lot of them, which is wonderful because then you can take a handful and drop them in between your couch cushions and just get that part over with right at the outset rather than losing them individually, as I prefer to do. It's inefficient. You can also, if you're a minimalist, you can just get a big package of nice silver metal ones. They come in 1 size. We have these. They're enameled metal and they're hexagonal, which is a little zany, kind of fun. They're pretty. They look like, well, they're hexagons. Yeah, 6 sides, hexagons. Just checking. So that's great. You can get them with dangly charms on them. Here are cats. I don't necessarily need cats on my knitting. I have 2 cats at home who do a great job anyway, but these are fun. If cats aren't your thing, you can do gnomes, you know, little dangly things. I've heard these described as jewelry for your knitting, and they're a lot of fun. That's kind of what they're for. They're just fun. You know, why not have fun? You can be very utilitarian or you can be a little zany about it. If you are undecided and you don't know what kind you like best, there is, of course, the Coco Knits Flight of Stitch Markers. They call it a stitch marker tasting. You get 5 different kinds in a nice sturdy cardboard box. They come in little tubes like this. They are metal stitch markers, so they're magnetic. If you use a magnetic pattern board, these will just stick onto the ruler or whatever your magnets are on there, which is great. And it's plastic-free packaging if that's important to you. So once again, you get 5 kinds, and bringing back my penny for scale. Here you go. The biggest one is about the same size as a penny. These are great if you use big needles a lot. Here's the medium-sized one. This is the size I use most often, honestly. This medium-sized circular stitch marker, that's sort of the one I use all the time. They even have, Coco Knits will even give you teeny tiny ones, which these are great for like size 1s and 0s and 2s. If you do a lot of knitting with small needles, these could be your friends. I happen to do a lot of knitting with small needles because I knit a lot of socks, but I don't like these as much as I like the medium-sized ones. right? So the Cocoa Knits also gives you triangular ones. Those kind of hang on your needles in a slightly different way. So that could be a shape that you really like. And then of course they have these split ring markers, which again, you can just loop on your needle or they slide on and you can use them to mark an individual stitch. So this is a style that knitters and crocheters would be able to use, but they're still just a tiny bit bigger than the medium-sized marker. So I feel like that's all the stitch markers we've got in stock. We really do have a style for virtually every taste and every situation. So if you are a stitch marker fanatic like I am, you can find these on the website at stringtheoryyarncompany.com, or you can come in and browse through them yourself. So there you go. Hopefully they will bring a little bit of organization to your knitting. I hope everyone is having a good week and you're all working on something fun. I'll talk to you later.